Jenny, if we go right back to your early life, growing up in Bilbao, what shaped your view of the world and what values or experiences have stayed with you all the way through till now?
So, in Bilbao, I was a bit of a naughty child. I was the youngest one of four. My sisters were much older than me. Like, it's 11 years gap between me and my older sister. So what changed my life was when I was 12, my mom decided to put me in a nuns school. So I've been from a normal, boys and girls school with, very happy childhood and everything, to then suddenly going into a uniform, the rules, oh my goodness. And then, unfortunately, I didn't have a great experience with the nuns because I was a bit cheeky and they didn't like that. Mm-hmm. So, and also, something that marked me all my life is that I have a very unusual name. So my name is a mixture of Spanish and Basque, so it's Genofa. And there's only two people that we know of that call like me. So in the whole school, I was the only Genofa in the whole school. So everybody remembered me and remembered my name. So in a way, it made me quite talkative and, imaginative and things like that. But at the same time, it made me as well kind of like center of attention in a sense. So I have to learn how to, get that with my life. But 100% the nuns school did mark me in the sense that I didn't understand how can you have to love, like, if you go to the Catholic school, you're supposed to love each other and have all these values, and then suddenly the nuns were not very nice to you. So I didn't get it. I didn't understand it. And I was there until I was 18. So yeah, it did mark me. It did make me a bit of a rebel. So my mom's idea to get me out of trouble was sending me to London when I was 18 to learn English. So I came to a family. I had no English whatsoever. I used to have like just a dictionary, a paper dictionary. And that's where I learned the language, the universal language of the hand language. You are drink, food, I'm sick, and I still remember to this day the first time that I sat in front of the TV and suddenly I understood what they were saying. Because I remember for a few months sitting in front of the TV with the children. They used to love Top of the Pops. And we used to sit with them. And at the beginning, I would hear the blah, 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 blah. And then suddenly, it was oh my goodness, I understand what they're saying. So that's why I realized that all my teachers back home in Spain, they taught me wrong English. Because I started learning English when I was 5. And my parents spent a fortune on lessons and everything. But everybody told me to translate. And you shouldn't do that. You should learn by images and things. So those are the biggest changes, to be fair, in my life. From a little small town. When I came to London was the first time I ever saw in the street 2 guys kissing or holding hands. Oh, wow. In my town, never. Big shopping centers. In Bilbao, we had the El Corte Inglés, and there was no fast food. So I was like, oh my God, it's a McDonald's, a Burger King. Because you have to think now, I'm early 70s. It's been a long time ago. So yeah, and then when I came to London, my best friend was from Sweden. So it was just great. It was great not to have, my parents were very strict. So then suddenly was no rules, I could go whenever I want. So when my parents like, oh, well, the year is finished, like, no, I'm staying an extra year. And I stayed 11 years in London.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So it was really cool, like, because I did travel and tourism at college, and then I started working in a wine bar in the city, and I became the manager of the wine bar. It was some of the best times. The other day, actually, on Facebook, one of my friends were putting like the nights in Walthamstow, which was crazy. And I was lucky in a sense that I never mingled with the Spanish people. I never understood that. I mean, if I wanted to mingle with the Spanish people, I'll go to Spain. I'm in the UK, and I think I need to embrace what the UK gives me. And that's always been my motto in life. I've never understood about the divisions and, and things like that when we are so rich to each other. When I work in Coney and Barrow in London, I had friends from all over the world, and I still maintain those friendships. And we told each other so many things. And when I went back to Spain and I got married and I have the kids, that's always something I missed from England. And I wanted my children to experience that. And sometimes when we get obsessed about, or stuff, it's great. Everybody, everybody's different. But do you know how great it is to know about different cultures and about different things and about that sharing? I think for me it's something natural, and I'm really, that's one of the things that have always moved me. I'm very inquisitive, so I like to learn about everybody, about different experience, and I try to lead by example and try to treat everybody the way I like to be treated. And it's something that everybody says about it, but nobody really does. And those are things that, to me, are key, because everybody's like, oh, God, you got to smile. It doesn't cost you anything to smile. It doesn't cost you anything to because everybody say, be kind. Who's kind? We all have moments, but it's those things that I'm a person that if I'm going to say I'm going to do something, I'm doing it. It doesn't matter what. I'm so stubborn. I mean, seriously, sometimes but I get things done. And what I don't understand is people that they promise you the moon and they don't deliver. No, don't promise the moon. Promise something small, but deliver it. That's the way I try to be every day in my life and every day with my kids and the people that I get to know each other, if I'm going to do something, I'll do it. And if I can't, I'll ask for help. I think it's another thing as well. Sometimes we feel proud or we don't want to, isn't it? Or we feel like, no, go for it. And then another one is I always ask, because you never know. I ask you stuff, and some of the things I got, like yesterday, I asked you about the door, and you took 5 minutes and you fixed that for me. And otherwise, if I wouldn't have asked, I would be going crazy because my door was broken. Yes, sometimes it's like silly things like that, but it does make a difference. And I love people. I think we are, as humans, we are amazing. And I know a lot of the time as well, a lot of people struggle. I'm very lucky because I'm very positive. I'm too positive sometimes. It could be a bit of pain. But, I understand as well when people are going through dark phases, because I did have as well problems with, anxiety, depression and stuff like that. And I got out of it thanks to my family and friends. So I think that's why it's important sometimes to lean on each other. I know sometimes like the desperation of moving to a country, not knowing what's happening. But I do think, and for example, now I'm in Basildon. I've been living in Basildon nearly 8 years. The community we have is unbelievable. It's amazing. And I think we need to not always look at the bad things. Let's see, there's some good things as well. Why don't we change a bit of the narrative? Because everybody's saying, let's change the narrative, but do it for sure, Don't always look at what is really bad for you. There's so much help out there, but the problem is people don't know about it. So sometimes it's really difficult. And that's why we started a group with all these charities in Basildon called Community, because we knew there was a lot of help, but nobody knew how to access that help. So that's how we started it.
Just a quick one. Give me a second to tell you about the proud sponsor of the Hodcast, Site Ready Solutions. In construction, a world where time is tight and quality matters, there's no room for passengers. Site Ready Solutions are changing the game. They're not just getting people into the industry, They're getting them ready to deliver from day one. It all starts in the community, attracting local people who might never have thought of themselves being on a construction site. Then they're given real training, hands-on, hard graft, and to high standards. They're placed where they're needed the most, with the right mindset, skills, and the ability to be productive from day one. Then, importantly, they're retained through ongoing support and mentoring through progression. Because site-ready solutions don't just build workers, they build teams, they build trust, and they build futures. From street to site, they're helping everyday people become site-ready professionals, productive, prepared, and proud from the very first day they step on the job. Site-ready solutions, local people, real skills, day one impact. Visit sitereadysolutions.co.uk and see how they're rebuilding the future of the construction industry, one person at a time. Thanks for listening. So you grew up in Bilbao, but somehow you ended up in Basildon.
Yeah.
Can you talk me through, the how you got? We've heard a bit about sort of why you ended up in the UK, and you were in London and running bars and things like that. But why Basildon?
Okay, so when I've always maintained my friends from when I lived in London. Okay, so when we knew Brexit was happening, we knew it was then or never, because things are obviously much harder now and everything. So one of my best friends, Leslie, that worked with me at Coney and Barrow in the city, in the wine bar, she lives in Billericay. So when we decided to come, we kept in contact all this through the years. And when we decided to come in, she said, well, Jenny, why don't you come to Essex? Because London is hard with the kids, I can help you. And the school in Spain, the children went to Catholic school, they contact De La Salle, that is in Basildon, and got them into places already. So then I just looked at to rent a house near where the kids' school were, so like that they could actually walk while me and my husband worked. So that's how it was Basildon. To be fair, when we were in Spain, my husband, I don't know for what reason, he looked at Ipswich. And I'm like, why Ipswich? And he went because it's got a seaport. And I was like, nah, I don't know what that place is. I want to be near London. So that's why we came to Basildon, but we love it. We love our neighbors. We love we love the sense of community. And even though people tell bad things about it, the kids are really integrated. People have only been kind to us. So, that's all for me, it's a great place. I love it.
Now, it's easy to say that. And you've got Signpost Basildon around your neck. But what is it about Basildon that you love? Because you don't have now. Your kids are grown up.
I could move anytime.
You could move anywhere you want.
Anywhere I want.
What is it about Basildon that makes you love it and want to stay?
The people, the sense of community, the amazing people I've met. They wanted to make changes. They wanted to make things better, to try to change the perspective of the town. But even, for example, my own kids are uni up north, and they brought friends down, and they're like, oh, look. And they're like, actually, you say Basildon it's actually not bad. And I even said to my own children, it's like, you see? You've been hearing all these negative, but when you come with open eyes and don't see everything, of course there's issues. Everywhere there's issues. You go to Bilbao, there's loads of issues. There's going to be issues everywhere you go. There's good and bad in every color, country, religion, everywhere. And if you tell negative, that's, there's something wrong with you. Let's be honest. And obviously, people, if they're going to rob somewhere, they're going to go to the where people has money, So we need to stop changing that narrative of looking always at the bad side. Yeah, okay, there is, I don't know, gangs, this. What can we do to change? What can we do to help? At the end of the day, it's okay to say, oh, I brush you off and you are this person and you're going to be. Why? Let's give people chances. I used to be a teacher in Spain. I used to be teaching English as a foreign language. And the first day I went to class, I knew who ruled at home or if there was any problems. Because children, they don't born evil. There's always something that's going on. I mean, I love to watch a lot of programs and things like that as well. And you always see something behind it. And it's very sad sometimes that, we don't give children maybe as well good examples or good mentoring, or because they have bad experience. Sometimes we need to be a bit more, why? What can we do to help? I mean, don't get me wrong. If you don't want to be helped, there's nothing nobody can do. I mean, the only person that can help you is you. That's why I love me. I'm a mom, I'm a wife, I'm everything, but I'm Jennifer, I'm Jenny. And I am my number one fan. Because at the end of the day, if you love you and you are strong about you, then that shows to everybody else. Nobody can love you as much as you do to you. For me, that's always what and don't get me wrong, my kids, I'm like one of these mamas, oh, my children. But they have their own lives as well. I need to look at me, my life, how to make me whole and happy, and then I can project that to everybody else. It's very important, that.
It is. And where did you learn that? Where did that come from?
Because I think to me, leaving home when I was 18 and being independent and having to be my own person quite young, because you have to think those days we didn't have internet or nothing. I could call my mom maybe once a week or something like that if I was lucky, because it was so expensive. So I started to look after me. And then I've always, I had experience, like I have boyfriends, this and that. And I've always, I've always been very independent. And I never wanted nobody to rule me. Maybe that comes from when I was younger. But one thing I've always worked on is to not let myself go. Like, I started smoking when I was 14 because my friends were like, oh, you're cool and you're older. And then you know how hard it is to give it up and things like that. You know what I mean? And then I always thought, like, especially at home, my kids, like, learn to say no. Don't do peer pressure. I know it's really hard, and I know we are humans. We let people like us. I think a lot to do as well with my mom, because my mom, she's always had business, and she was this glamorous woman, but my mom all her life was always what people thought about her. What would they say? And me, London changed me that. Here in London, I could be me and nobody cared. And I think that from coming from a small town that everybody is very much like what the next person is doing, it changed me completely. And I think that is a lot to do with it. And that's why I never felt, when I go back home, I never feel like I fit in, like I was this strange person that I didn't care. This is what it is. This is what you get. Everything is in my face. Like, if I'm sad, it's in my face. If I'm happy, it's in my face. So I learned in life, you either love me or hate me. It's what it is.
It's interesting though, because community, like, just thinking about that, you're in the business of sort of growing community, really, but your community in Bilbao was obviously small, and the community in Basildon is not huge, right? So I'm just sort of thinking about it from my point of view, because we I don't know if you have it in Basildon. We have, I'm from Saffron Walden. They've got like the Saffron Walden mummies page and the Saffron Walden like selling page and the the debates pages and all of this stuff. And we're quite like, there's only like maybe 30,000 people in Saffron Walden, so it's quite small. It's, in fact, that's the whole of the voting area of Saffron Walden, so it's actually much smaller than that. But people still like know other people's business. So how do you know, in Bilbao, obviously people care about what other people think of them because everyone knows everyone's business.
Yeah, because especially, well, I'm not from the actual Bilbao city. I'm from a small town.
Yeah.
So, yeah, everybody knows, and who's your mom, who's your... I mean, I remember my mom used to have all this business. She used to have all this beauty business, all right? And one day I was doing a machine thing next to her, and this was when I was in my 20s. And I was like, oh, who are you? You know, and obviously, again, because my name was so strange, everybody knew it. You know, I was like, oh, you're Miriam's daughter. And you are living in London. And you're doing this and you're doing that. She knew more about my life than me. And I was like, what is going on here? And don't get me wrong, I know my parents were very proud of me because they thought, oh my God, she's gone by herself. Like, none of my brothers and sisters have ever left Bilbao. I've always been like the odd one out. But I think as well, it was this like I wanted to know and I wanted to learn and I wanted every day to be different. When we lived in Bilbao with the kids and everything, don't get me wrong, it's great. But I always wanted this a bit extra, a bit more, you know. As well, like, you know, there as well is who you know. It's just different. I'm not saying it's better or worse. Everywhere you go, you make it your home and you make it yours, you know. And people say to me, makes me laugh because like, how can you be coming to England? Don't you miss the weather? I'm like, hello, I'm from Bilbao. It's the north of Spain. Have you ever been? It does rain a lot and it's very cold. So people get shocked because they think of Spain of the south, of the beach in the south, the Mediterranean. I'm like, you know, Spain is very big. So he's trying to change that perspective, and he's trying to change the perspective as well, that you need to go what makes you happy, you know? And I think sometimes we don't realize that and how, because all humanity, always there's been migration and people traveling and seeing other countries. I mean, we know that for England, we know for Spain, South America, you know. And we tend to forget all that. And what it makes me very sad is the hatred, because just for one or two that they do wrong, it doesn't mean that everybody is the same. And I think it has a lot to do about education. And it's like when they say to me, go to Spain, the flamenco, the pie. I was like, I'm from the Basque country, okay? I'm Basque. That's totally, we don't do that. Oh, really? I said, yeah. And we're very proud of our football team, Athletic de Bilbao, because all the players are from the Basque country. Oh, really? Yes, it's unique in the world. Oh, really? And then you start teaching people a little bit about your culture, and they go, oh, wow. And that's the same thing about the culture here in Basildon. You know, I learned about Basildon being a new town. I learned about Basildon being created after the Second World War because people were refuging from the bombs. I learned about this building in the middle of town that is actually unique because it's got people slagged off that brick house. But it's actually unique because of the structure. So, do you know? And it's like sometimes it's about that. It's about learning and it's about sharing. That's why I'm very passionate of, for example, doing interchanges of skills. I think that's very important. The skills that I know, teach you and you teach me your skills. Because we none of us know everything. So, you know, that's what makes the magic.
Well, we talk about skills. You've made dedicating your life to the service of others a skill.
Yeah, but
quite frankly,
to be honest with you, I think everything that I've done through my life has made me perfect for the job I'm doing now. Because I did the management when I was younger, the teaching, then I work in care. When we came to the UK, I work in care and I work in domiciliary care, and I did all the jobs that you can think of that. So I was the carer, senior, coordinator, HR manager. So all those kind of jobs that I've had in all my life, it's come up to this, I think.
But they all
You told me loads of different things.
Yeah, but they all have similar. They all have similar sort of. They're all based around helping people.
Yeah, I'm working with people. I love people. I told you.
Yeah, well, and that's what I want to get to. Like, where did that come from? Like, what is?
My mom always had businesses since I was born. So since when I was like, I don't know, a toddler, 5, she used to take me to the shop with her. She used to, because she had so many different shops. She had, when I was little, she had clothes shops, which she make me model. Oh my God. I think that's why as well, she put me on the spot. So, you break that. And then she always told me about like the customer is right and I have to look after people. So it's always been in my, since I can think of, I've been with people. I'm very, but then it was funny because when I was in the nun school, we had these psychologists and stuff coming in, and they did like some tests on us, and it came out that I was super extrovert and super introvert. So for some things I was very extroverted, and some things I'm like introverted. But I don't know. I don't feel like it, but that's what they told me.
Well, I've been doing a lot of reading about this recently.
Oh, okay.
Where do you get your energy from? Do you get your energy from being with people, or do you get your energy from being on your own?
With people.
With people.
Yeah.
So that would suggest that you are more extrovert than introvert. So I'm similar. I get my energy from people.
Yeah.
But I do also quite like to be on my own. to sort of process.
Yeah. You know my problem. I'm not a big thinker. I don't think things twice. Because everybody, when I lived to Spain when I was so young, oh my God, you're so brave. I didn't see it like that way. And when they say, I was like, well, it's like when they would say, oh, you came with the kids and they were so young. Yeah, but home is always there. So I'm the kind of person that I don't think things twice. I just jump. I know it's very difficult to be like that. Like some people, they can't do it. They have to be very secure and everything. To me, it's worked. So I kind of like always took the plunge and just went for it. And then some people, it's like, where you get your, I don't know. I wake up like this. It's very, very bad, especially if you live with me. In my family, they like, my daughter is no morning person, like, Mom. It's like, okay, I'll try. But it's just, I love music as well. I love dancing. It gives me that vibe. And the only time I'd really like to be by myself is like maybe at nighttime to watch a movie. But then I'm always with my family. So I don't know. I can't be by myself, to be honest, because that's when I was in London, I was by myself, and I had no problem being by myself. But I don't tend to dwell on things, or I don't tend to. I'm an action person, and I'm not a blamer. I'm a fixer. So when people start saying, "Oh, it's their fault," I don't care. Let's fix it. I mean, it's no point now to who we're going to blame. Why am I going to waste my breath on that? Let's fix it. So that's the kind of person I am. I've always been a fixer. All my friends and everything, they'll always tell you, they'll come to, it's funny because people seem to feel comfortable with me. When I work now, even when I used to be a teacher, the kids like really liked me. And the sense that because I was very, if they didn't understand one way, I understand another way. I'm quite patient. So, I used to get on really well with them. And now as well, when I do a CV, it's like opening Pandora box and they tell me. And I think as well, because I keep, obviously super quiet and I don't judge. I just listen and see if I can find solutions. Because at the end of the day, whatever happened in your past is your past. What happened yesterday is gone. It's gone. It's nothing you can do about it. It's how it happened. I mean, to me as well, lots of stuff happened, it's gone. So what's the point of trying to no? I always look at the positive, which sometimes it could be annoying.
Well, yeah, I don't think that. I think people feel like that can be annoying, but I don't think it's, in practice, it's not actually annoying. I think it's probably quite nice, really. But in your work, you're helping people, and especially at the moment, well, for the last 8 years at least, the people of Basildon. But what does success look like in your work right now?
For me, like this morning, I went to work and I walked to work because I live only 15 minutes. And on my way to work, I was stopped by 3 people that I help into employment. And they go like, hi, Jenny, how are you? That's, for me, success. Just seeing how by you trying to help, you kind of make their lives a bit better. And I had lots of people that were really demotivated because they've sent hundreds and thousands of job applications, this and that, and they wouldn't get anywhere. And coming to me, to my job clubs and weekly, and me picking them up when they broke from interviews. And one thing, it really, I don't, they come like, oh, no, it's thanks. And I said, no, it's not thanks to me. It's thanks to you. You are the one that wanted it. I only gave you the tools and the patience to help you. But you did it. It was nothing to do with me. I can tell you, Sam is hiring. I can prepare you for that interview. But the bottom is that you got that job. I didn't. I kind of guide you. It's like when a child passed the exam. It's not obviously the teacher has given them the tools so then they can be prepared to get that exam. I see that in my job. So when people come, I'm blessed. Christmas and my birthday is terrible because they come and I was like, look, I'm very thankful, but you don't have to give me nothing. I don't want nothing. Give it to the center and we'll share it. For me, that is, I'm always being like that though. I never liked to receive things. Even when my own house, Christmas, when I used to go to Spain from London, I felt like Father Christmas. I was just like all these gifts. But that's the way I've always been. I'm not very materialistic. I was giving on my 40th birthday Louis Vuitton bag, and I gave it away in like a couple of, because I just found it really uncomfortable. But that's the way I and don't get me wrong, we all need money to live. 100%. But I don't need a lot, to be happy. But I never wanted like expensive car because I never really look after things. So if it breaks, how bad would I feel? But if I break a really old car, then it's okay. You know what I mean? So that's the way I've always kind of been. I've always liked to give. And that is, for me, is the biggest thing that you can give me, is to see you are well and you're doing well, and that we help you get in that space. I had people, we've been working in Vanch, and this lady, she hadn't left the house in 4 months. And she came with one of my workshops and said like, Jenny, I loved it. You gave me so much positivity. That's what makes me happy. The rest, don't give me prices or things like that, because I won't, I will obviously say thank you, Sam, but that's not what drives me. It's the same thing as money. Unfortunately, in charity, you don't earn that much. So that's why you don't do those jobs, your roles for that. You do it for this, the heart. For me, it's the best feeling. And when you know, everybody that we are in the industry, that's what we do it for, I think. Maybe it's an odd one out that I haven't seen.
Yeah, no, for sure. And it can be, I guess it can be difficult when you put so much effort in to helping people, and as you say, they just don't want it.
Well, but you learn. Because the thing is, like, again, before I said, if people don't want to be helped, there's nothing you can do. So unfortunately, I had lots of participants like that, and they sat in front of me as like, the first thing they said to me is, I don't want to work. Like, okay, I just want to get my, work out of my, okay, well, I don't judge, I'm not here to judge you. It's your life. I'm quite happy with my life. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, it's down to that person. But what I want to say is that if you really want to change and you really need that help is there. You just need to come to us and we will help you. We will signpost you to whoever can help you. The help is there, but it's only you that can help you. And that I said it from the beginning. So it got to a point that it doesn't really, I try my best. And if you don't want to, it's your life. I mean, I think you learn that. I learned that from the very beginning. So now I only really spend really good time with the people that really want that help.
Do you see people coming in just to tick boxes for things that they can get?
100%. Every day.
What do you think motivates them to do that?
Well, I mean, sometimes it's your generations, because like maybe your parents have been like maybe on benefits, and you get to know everything, and that's the way you want to live your life. Some other people, you see it because they decided to make that life out for them. It's really sad as well to see, for example, I had moms with 6 children, and coming to one of my sessions that we did budgeting, and they were saying, oh, I spent all my money on takeaways that week because I wasn't feeling very well and I don't have money to feed the kids this week. And it's really hard, but you're not going to judge, you have these children, let's try to see how we can make it better. But in my charity and in me, what I want to do is empower. I want to give you the tools for you to be your own boss and you to make your own decisions. And I think sometimes some people, they just, they like to feel needy. And we are in a society as well that there is a lot of like charities and things that they just give you there and then. My idea is to prepare people for the future. Like you were saying, give a job for life to someone you train well. That person will never depend on anyone by themselves. And that's why when you were saying about me, about loving me, I depend on me. And the only thing I've asked the world is to be healthy. Because with these two, I've done every single work that you can think of. I don't mind. And people look at me like, but you have a degree and you have that. And my son is going to Durham University, and today, at this time, he's now in a field in Ingleston cleaning, jet washing floors. And is there a problem? At the end of the day, if we really want to do it, and if we really want to reach whatever we want to reach, it's up to us. But we always blame everybody else. Have a look at yourself a little bit sometimes. Not everybody else is always the fault. Sometimes is our own. We need to decide or make certain decisions. And I know it's tough, but that's why you have people around you that will be able to help you. I mean, I can always say, oh God, I'm not good with the internet. I'm not good with your phone. Cue me. Let's get you in the classroom. Come on, let me teach you. You'll never have to ask anybody to help you. Learn yourself the tools. So, but that's again a choice. And that's again up to each individual. But if you want people, then don't be upset that, oh, they haven't cleaned the streets. Yes, they have. But then you have someone that nobody's been told them that you shouldn't be dumping rubbish in the middle of the road. Or, why we have people that, really struggle with the cleanliness and stuff like that. And lots of the time it's mental health. And the problem is there is not now places that you can really go. Like before, we used to have institutions and things. Now that people are saying that everybody's in the streets, it's really difficult. I don't have the answers, but I do think that between all of us, we could make it better.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess you see though more than others the like the brunt face of it.
Yeah.
There are, sometimes I'm guilty. Like if I see someone out on the street and you cross the road or whatever, like, oh, I can't deal with that today. But actually, like that person's got to deal with it every day.
Mm-hmm. And you have to. Sometimes we don't do empathy. I mean, for me, that's a very, very important word. You should put yourself into the situation. People commit mistakes. They get addiction is an illness. Some people, they're just not taking drugs for taking drugs. They need them. For them, it's like you need water. And I think sometimes we just like don't see that as what it is. Also, we see, I see especially the youngsters in Basildon, the role models and things, the wrong ones. We have them now, social media, filming themselves fighting and stuff like that. What it's all about. Is it cool to be a gangster, or is it cool to hit a woman? So I think that's all of us work as society to start changing that. Let's not blame it on the media. Let's do podcasts. Let's start training people. Let's talk about these problems that we know they are there. We know they exist. What can we do to make it better? Give these people dignity. At the end of the day, homelessness. Now with all the migrants, they're all come here to do the jobs. There's lots of work available. The problem is, why would you work cleaning when you might be able to be better off maybe with benefits? I mean, and the thing is, until we start not changing all these ideas, and we don't start helping each other out, we are going to. It's going to be the word of the hatred. But we're better than that, I think. I don't know.
No, I agree. I think it's difficult because there's like a mass. I don't know, and I don't know how it's happened, and I don't know how
media.
I don't know how I don't know. I don't think it is the media, because the media is only able to portray something in a certain way. So the thing something has to have happened for the media to write about it, right?
The thing that has to happen is that the economy is going very bad. We are poorer and poorer and poorer. The prices are up and up and up, and we have to blame someone. We have to start. We are a society of blaming.
I'm not sure it's a Syrian refugee that we're blaming for our economy going down the drain. Like the price of petrol isn't up because a Syrian woman has crossed in a boat to.
But you don't see that. But for example, I went on a taxi and they were like, "Where are you from?" I was like, "Oh, then you are right, because if you are from that, you're coming here to take my." I was like, "Hello." Or I work a lot of with refugees because I've teach them English and everything else. And I've seen the hate. They got taxis and they got and I'm like, what? They don't have hardly any money to feed the children. And they all want to get the right to work and no. I mean, don't get me wrong. There's always going to be people taking advantage. But that's in every country, in every nationality. I mean, if you look at it as well, it makes me. I went to Spain in Tenerife on holidays. I went to a bar. They didn't speak Spanish. That was owned by English people, And did I make a big fuss about it? Well, no. I just ask in English because I'm lucky enough. I
coming
speak
over here,
English.
taking our jobs,
and they don't even speak the language. So sometimes we need to be as well, And you see all the. I watch these programs, A Day in the Sun and all that, of all these families going to enjoy my country. I'm not even bothered to learn the language. And you think to yourself, do I categorize everyone in England like that? No way. Everybody's an individual and everybody is an example of themselves. So you can't put everybody in the same box. Let's stop doing that. And it's like another thing that really annoys me sometimes about the politicians, when they just blame each other. And what about the good stuff that one of them can be good? Why don't you just say, God, he's done a good job, but I'm going to even do it better. Let's work together and see, because if our representatives behave like that, how are we going to behave, And that's why, for me, it was so important when I was given the chance to create this center, never to be about Signpost or us. It was about to be collaboration. Because I've seen, again, all these other groups and everything they have their own center. It's my center, it's mine. No, don't you realize together you're much stronger and you can get so much more done? And having a place where you come in and, okay, I might help you with your CV, but while I'm doing your CV, I see gaps in your employment, and you say, this month I'm not able to feed my children because I don't have enough, or I need, upskilling, or I'm really struggling with my mental health and I need some help. And then being able to have another organization that is like, let me signpost you to this person. Let's see how we can help. Because nobody that I know of in the world can do everything. That is impossible. You have amazing skills, Sam, that I don't have, and the opposite. But together, those skills, we can, work together and make it so much better. Why people are not I see that as a sign of not very intelligent.
It's difficult, isn't it? Because people want to hold the power over other people, whether that's financial power, whether that's situational power, like whatever it is, that's what it feels like. But it feels like a mass. It does, and over my lifetime, it feels like a mass murder of community. Like people just going around murdering good, wholesome communities by driving wedges between people, between organizations, between this, that, and the other.
That's because as well, a lot of the time, like funding and this and that, and people become really oh my God, they're going to get all the funding. There is always enough for everybody. If you show how hard you work, and those are things that it can be seen, people that have the power of funding, they love to fund you, and they love to fund more about you, because they'll say, why would I fund just Jenny? And if I can fund a whole center where lots of people are going to be working together. Do you know what I mean? And that's intelligent. And the thing is, it's about that. It's about doing the best that we can with all the. My biggest thing when I started this job was around me, so I can help this individual the best way I can. So if I meet you and I do your CV and you start talking up to me, and then I can say, we can have a conversation, what your gaps, what happened in your life, because you open up, is the way it goes. Then I don't know anything really, well, I studied about, but I don't know a lot about mental health, for example, or I don't know, I can say my own. So why don't I have next to me someone that can help you with that? So that's one my thought, because lots of the time as well, people, they might like you, and you can help them there and then, because then you know what the mind is like, so powerful. In 1 second, it'll go, So that person is ready maybe now. If I leave it for another day, that person might not be receptive. So let's get it sorted now, So that's the kind of thing we're trying to do.
In case you didn't know, in construction, trust is everything. You trust your team to show up, you trust your tools to perform, and when the pressure's on, you trust your supplier to deliver. That's where Grayson Building Products come in. They've been doing this since 1921, and they've built more than just a business. They've built relationships, expertise, and a reputation that is earned, not claimed. With over 50,000 products in stock and a team of specialists who genuinely understand the craft, Grayson is there. Not just when you order, but when things get complex. It's more than just a price. It's partnership. It's peace of mind. If you want a supplier that moves like part of your team, visit grayson.gb.com and see what real service feels like. Your hashtag a movement. Hashtag together we can.
Yeah.
It's powerful, right? But to truly make it, together we did. Who else do we need to bring in? What kinds of people, organisations, communities do you need to work together to make it together, from hashtag together we can to hashtag together we did?
To me, everybody that has the same vision is welcome.
What is that?
The vision is to want to change and make things better. So everybody that think that they can bring an idea to help the community, either imagine you are super rich and you want to give a little donation, amazing. Imagine you are a community group and have a great idea. So for example, obviously the center is going to have some expenses, all right? Because I have to pay electricity and the service charges and everything. I'll find money under the stop. If I have to start selling pies, I will, you know? And I was saying to this lady the other day came in from Heritage Mix and they said, like, oh, Jenny, we'd love to come and do, you know, a session here teaching people different food from different countries, but I don't have much money. I said, that's okay. Come in, we'll work together, and then one day a month we do a fundraising and all the money goes to the center and you help me. Fantastic. Another person's like, oh, okay, do a couple of hours at reception. It's all about collaboration. It's not all about money. Money comes, okay? We can make that happen. I will go and say, oh, my electricity. And I'm sure someone will be, okay, let me give a hand. If not, we will do a concert or we will do whatever we need to do, okay? Because if everybody puts £1, you don't have to worry about things. Things really don't cost as much as you want. I can make amazing food that costs a tiny weeny penny money. I can feed 100 people for like 50p per person. Because I have that skill. I love cooking. That's why, you know, keep on eating. But seriously, I'm a home cook. I've cooked all my life. My mom cooked. I know how to make dishes with my eyes closed. And you don't need to spend a huge amount, you know? You just need to know how to mix the ingredients.
That's it. Is there a Genofa cookbook coming out soon?
My daughter was saying, Mommy, I'm going to start doing TikToks of you cooking with your recipes. I know. I just enjoyed it. But I do have a lot of workshops. I did one in Banch about paella cooking and everything. And I just enjoy it. I just do it for fun. So, you know, and we actually going to start in the center because that's another thing I wanted to do, to integrate with each other. We will interchange skills. So, for example, I run the speaking club where we have people from Ukraine, from Brazil, from all over the world. And I was saying to them, why don't you teach your languages and they can teach you English in exchange? So I'm going to be running a Spanish club, or probably Wednesdays from 4 till 6, where I will teach English, Spanish for free. And then we will do as well a bit of tasting and cooking some of the typical Spanish dishes. And if you cannot, and it will be by donation. So if you don't have money, you don't pay nothing. If you have a little money and you want to contribute, you pay £1, £2, £3, whatever you can. So it's about that. It's about give and take. And it's about being able to access to skills and things, and you don't have to spend money if you don't have it.
I love that. And how do you see that? Because the centre you have, where talk to us about that and how it came about. Because it's what you're calling it, the Unity.
Yes. So basically, how it came about is that because Signpost never had a centre in Basildon. We always kind of work the latest years under the Advice Store, or now it's called Pathways, which is run by Basel Council. But I never had enough space to be able to have my volunteers or my lessons and my job clubs. So me talking, I talk very little. start talking to people around, like in Basildon. It's like, oh, I'm really looking for my own center. I can't do everything I wanted to hear. And people were saying, like, oh, you this because you work so hard, and it came out in one of these conversations. It came up, we have this unit, but it's going to be knocked down. I was like, well, I don't care. Give me a few months, as long as we can show and we can show that this works. In the future, we know it's going to be a space for us. Even I'm moving to the podcast. No, I'm joking. But it will be a space, you know? So it all came out of that. And then suddenly, it was happening. I was like, okay, it's happening. And yeah, when I was giving the keys, I couldn't believe it. I was like, really? So now I'm like, come on, everybody, let's get help. And it was meeting people by chance. For example, I met Garry in a meeting that we have with Basildon Council. Basildon Council has been great, though. They've been really supportive. You know, in Spain there's a say. It says, "Al César del César." So from Caesar to the Caesar. So if people does something and they deserve a recognition, you have to give it to them. And they've been amazing. So, you know, when people are like, oh, it's all wrong, or there's like, no, there's positive thing, guys. Let's have a look at it, you know. So amazing. They've been totally supported. They've been totally behind the idea, introducing us to people. So I think there's good everywhere. You just need to find it. Mm. And if you don't ask, you don't get. And I like to ask.
For sure. And so tell us, what is it? It's the Unity Hub?
Yeah, well, it's going to be called the Unity Center because the thing is, I never wanted to be about Signpost. And we were looking at the name that it could be used for all of us. What we want to make sure is that it's not an actual hub, okay? You don't go there and have a coffee and hang around. It's a place that is going to be for upskilling, training, skills, workshops. So it's always things happening in there. So it could be something like you can learn, I don't know, to sew or whatever. I mean, we haven't got everybody. Talked with whoever wants to come in. Actually, today at 2, I have a meeting with people that want to come along. Mm. So it's going to be a place like that. It's going to be a place where you're going to be able to fix things. For example, I see it a bit as like an MOT. When you know your car is getting some lights and you think, oh, is something going wrong in my life? Then you come here and those lights that they were orange or red started going green. Mm. You know, I know it's very basic explanation, but in my mind, it's kind of like, so what we want to do is, again, not blaming or nothing, let's fix problems. Oh my goodness, I'm behind, I don't know, my council taxes, I don't know what to do. Let's get someone to help you. Oh, I'm struggling every month because I don't see how I can manage my finances. I'm getting into, let's get you some help. That is the kind of thing we want to do. Oh, I'm fed up with this job. I don't like it anymore. I need to change careers. Let's get you a careers advisor and let's talk about it. So it's about that. It's about solutions. For me, it's the death that unfortunately doesn't have a solution for as far as I know. Everything has a solution. So, or I don't know if I'm very optimistic, but I do think that everything has a solution. We just need to we want, you know, we want that solution to happen. It's very different if you say, oh my goodness me, I need something, but then you don't put anything on your part. That's when we were saying about before that, about being realistic about you. If you really want it, we get you a solution. But, you know, so that's the idea. The idea is to try to help as much people as possible and to educate that we are different and we are great working together, and that we all have everybody that's going to be working in that center or wants to come into that center needs to have that positive attitude of less help. Other than that, I mean, obviously, I'm not going to close the door in front of you, but he will, you know, that's what the idea is. Everybody, I wanted to be all for Basildon community and surroundings.
Well, that's amazing. That is amazing. Well, we have a bit of a closing thing on the Hodcast where you get a chance to decide who you want to see in the seat that you're sat in. So if you could pick anybody to be interviewed or to have a conversation with me and be sat in the seat where you are, who do you think you would like to have?
I don't know. I mean, the thing is, like, there's now a lot of say with, like, all these big politicians and these big, you know, billionaires and things like that. I don't think we should give them as much power as they have. Who I would sit here is one of those people that really struggled in Basildon and is sleeping on a had a very bad time and tough time, and to tell us the story, you know, and what it got them there, and what would they like to do to help, and how does it feel to being, you know, pointed at, or people turning their back against them and things like that. You know, talk from their perspective, because that's another thing again. You know, we don't hear all the perspective. We judge really quickly, all of us. Like, you see someone, it's like looking a certain way, and they're like, oh, you know, that person is this way or that way. And there's been a lot of things going on like that, isn't it? Like you seeing someone with tattoos and that, and you already think it's a bad person, and he could be the best person in the entire world. I think we judge very quickly, and we don't see these stories. We're losing the human touching us. I think it's very sad, but you know, we're humans, so we're not perfect. We make mistakes, but with all of us, if we change a little bit and listen and see other perspectives, don't get ourselves in our little world or little, you know, open up, you know, open to the world. Listen to the stories. When you talk about these people, like they coming in boats, would you think how desperate they are to risk their lives for a better life? Would you risk your life for a better life for your children? I think we need to start, like, maybe, you know, listen and see how was their life before, what happened to them, to, you know. I'm lucky. I chose to come here. Nobody forced me. It was my own decision. But not many people have that luck. Not many people was brought up by loving parents. Not many people have food on the table. Would you, if you imagine you have nothing, or when now you see families with nothing, wouldn't you like someone to help you and be kind to you? I think we all do. And there are people very kind and they help you. And sometimes the person that can help you in the future, maybe the young kid that's coming in the boat and now he's a doctor, you know. That's the way I think. I think we give each other the benefit of the doubt. And don't get me wrong, there is bad people out there and there's people that's not going to change. But then let's not put everybody in the same boat. Let's be individual. And that people that really want to change will change. I change. I was naughty, and now, well, I don't know. It could be. I mean, we'll have to ask my mum.
Well, thank you so much for coming on, Jenny. It's been amazing.
Thank you.
I know we'll cut it short because I know that you've got to get back for 2:00, but thank you so much. Well, bless you.
Thank you.